Guest 1337. The Wall, the Fist, the Legend. Guest 1337 costs 800 player points. But fans joke that the real price is the number of killers you'll humiliate while playing him. In the Forsaken community, he's both a tank and a showman, the guy who doesn't just block an attack, he does it while making eye contact with the killer like it's personal. Lore-wise, he comes straight from the last guest animation. But here, the story takes a darker turn. Instead of faking his death at the end, he actually dies and ends up in the Forsaken realm. Players love pointing out that he's one of the few survivors who actually looks like he's been through something, always ready to fight, but with that tired, I've seen some stuff energy. Gameplay-wise, Guest 1337 is a living panic button for your team. Block makes him invincible for a short time, and if the killer hits him, he gets a speed boost. Charge turns him into a freight train that knocks killers back and silences their abilities. Punch, a stun move that feels extra satisfying when timed perfectly. Passive made to last, bumps his health to 115, making him harder to take down. In matches, he's the friend who runs straight at the boss while everyone else is still looting. Sometimes it works, sometimes you're just spectating in 30 seconds, but either way, it's entertaining. Fans tell stories of him blocking 3 killer attacks in a row, giving the entire team time to escape, only to immediately type "no problem" in chat like it was nothing. His facial animations are a fan favorite, determined at the start, exhausted when low on health, but never scared. Even if the killer is right behind him, he'll keep that "I'm not trapped here with you, you're trapped here with me" vibe. That's why, whether you play for the win or just for the chaos, Guest 1337 stays one of the most played and most talked about survivors in Forsaken. Shedletsky, the sword, the smile, the stories. Shedletsky will set you back 850 player points, and fans say you're paying for 2 things: a linked sword and decades worth of Roblox history. He's based on one of Roblox's most iconic former admins, famous for running absurd events, eating way too much virtual fried chicken, and, of course, dueling with that legendary blade. In Forsaken lore, Shedletsky is a protector, someone who stepped away from the admin desk to fight alongside survivors. He's close friends with Builderman, and the two share a pact to protect others no matter the cost. But his story isn't all heroics. He's haunted by a nemesis, 1x1, a killer born from his own hatred. Whenever the two face off, the tension is high, and players joke it's like watching a soap opera, but with more sword fights. Gameplay-wise, Shedletsky blends offense and self-sustain. Slash swings his linked sword to stun the killer, buying allies precious seconds to escape. Fried chicken, a rare self-heal that keeps him in the fight just a little longer. He's not flashy for the sake of it. When Shedletsky stuns a killer, it's deliberate, calculated. Still, fans can't help but notice the little smirk that appears on his face after landing a perfect cut. His animations tell a whole story, serious and focused at the start, showing strain when badly hurt, and flashing that victorious grin when the tide turns in his favor. Among players, he's the old wolf, experienced, unshakable, and always aware of when to strike and when to wait. People pick Shedletsky not just for his abilities, but for the personality that comes with him. The sense that he's seen it all, survived it all, and still has a few tricks left up his sleeve. Dusekkar, the Pumpkin Sentinel. Dusekkar costs 900 player points, and players joke that most of that price is for the giant pumpkin on his head. He's one of the most mysterious survivors in Forsaken, a quiet support character who can completely change the flow of a match without ever saying a word. Based on Matt Dusekkar, Roblox's former technical director and chief architect, Dusekkar feels like a living relic of Roblox history wrapped in supernatural flair. In the lore, Dusekkar is calm, almost meditative, the kind of figure who watches the battlefield with patience before stepping in. He's one of the few survivors with strong personal connections. Shedletsky calls him by his real name, a sign of long-standing trust. And while his demeanor is peaceful, his abilities make him one of the most disruptive allies a killer can face. His kit is pure utility. Levitate moves silently, making it harder for killers to track him by footsteps. Spawn Protection grants a near-impenetrable shield to an ally for several seconds. Plasma Beam slows down killers or speeds up allies, depending on who it hits. Players love him for those movie moment saves, shielding a teammate at the exact second a killer is about to land a hit, or zapping the enemy just long enough for an escape. And then he just drifts away like nothing happened. Visually, the massive pumpkin helmet hides his expressions, which has become part of his charm. Fans have turned it into a running joke, from Halloween memes to pumpkin cult fan art. To many in the community, Dusekkar isn't just a support pick. He's the quiet guardian, the player who makes sure you live to see the endgame, even if you never hear his voice. 2-time, die twice, smile once. 2-time costs 750 player points, but the real value is in what you get after you lose him the first time. He's the only survivor in Forsaken who can die and come back stronger, a fragile cultist with a second chance and a very unsettling smile. Lore paints him as a devoted member of a mysterious cult alongside his close partner, Azur. But devotion turned into obsession, and in a moment of warped faith, he stabbed Azur as a necessary sacrifice. The regret came too late. Azur now resents him, and fans are already hyped for the day Azur arrives in the game, possibly as a killer. His signature line, "Shadows die twice," has become a catchphrase in the community. In gameplay, 2-time is simple but unique. When he dies, he respawns with 40 horsepower, but his max health increases to 110 instead of his original 80. His appearance changes after revival. Glowing respawn symbols, fragment-made wings, and that unnerving grin. Players love and fear him in equal measure. On one hand, he's a reliable late-game presence hard to finish off completely. On the other, he radiates cult energy in every interaction, often making teammates wonder if he's watching the killer or them. Visually, pre-revival 2-time has a blank, almost detached expression. Post-revival, it's a manic smile that stays glued to his face even when his health bar is almost gone. The fandom has turned this into memes about the guy who enjoys the respawn animation a little too much. For fans, 2-time is a mix of redemption and doom-proof that second chances can come at a heavy price. Ready for a challenge? According to statistics, only 3% of viewers manage to like the video and subscribe to the channel before the timer runs out. Write a comment if you made it in time. Noob, the snack-fueled survivor. Noob costs 500 player points, making him one of the cheapest survivors in Forsaken. Players say that's fitting. You're not paying for high stats or fancy mechanics. You're paying for pure, iconic Roblox energy. He's the embodiment of the classic starter avatar, but in Forsaken, he's a lone wolf survivor who can keep himself alive while everyone else is panicking. In the lore, Noob is a cheerful, food-loving guy who's rarely seen without snacks. He used to be more outgoing and counted guest 666 as his best friend until some mysterious incident drove them apart. Since then, he's been jumpier, more cautious, and his in-game expressions range from mild worry to full-blown panic when injured. Fans love how he's basically the most relatable character, stressed, hungry, and somehow still alive. His abilities are all about solo survival. Bloxy Cola, a quick speed boost when you need to bail. Skin Potion, temporary invulnerability to shrug off danger. Ghost Burger, near invisibility for a short burst of stealth. Community memes often revolve around Noob vanishing the moment trouble starts, only to show up again at the end of the round completely unharmed. Some players even joke that he's secretly the smartest survivor. Why fight when you can snack and hide? Visually, his classic Roblox-style design makes him instantly recognizable. He's the comfort pick for newcomers and a nostalgia trip for veterans. And while he won't be setting kill records or leading bold rescues, Noob has a knack for being the last one standing, sometimes without lifting a finger. Chance. Flip a coin. Change the game. Chance costs 950 player points, but his real cost is measured in heart attacks for you and your team. He's Forsaken's ultimate wildcard, a survivor who can start the match with great stats, or tank his own chances before the killer even shows up. Players either love him for the chaos, or avoid him like a bad bet at a slot machine. Lore-wise, Chance is the embodiment of a gambling addiction, always leaving fate to a coin toss. No one really knows how he ended up in the Forsaken realm, but his motto has stayed the same: heads or tails decides everything. He's also the first and only survivor to get an official plush in real life, which the community wears like a badge of honor. His backstory even ties him to I Trapped, a future killer, an unlikely friendship that fans endlessly speculate about. His kit is pure RNG madness. Unpredictable Fate randomizes his starting max health between 70 and 90. Flip a coin. Heads recharges all abilities. Tails gives him a stacking weakness debuff. Shoot. A flintlock pistol with a 25% chance to explode in his hands, 25% chance to misfire, and 50% chance to stun the killer. Reroll. Changes max health to anywhere between 50 and 130. Hatfix. Removes weakness stacks and repairs the flintlock. Players love the sheer drama he brings to a match. One flip can turn him into a tank with 130 horsepower or a glass cannon with barely enough health to survive a sneeze. His pre-game expression is smug confidence, which shifts to visible anxiety when his HP dips below 50%. Fans joke that playing Chance is like being in a relationship with him, thrilling one second, disastrous the next. Visually, he's got a gambler's charm. The kind of guy who tips his hat before either saving your life or blowing up in his own hands. And that's why Chance stays one of the most talked about picks in Forsaken. Win or lose, you'll definitely have a story to tell. Taph. The Silent Trapmaster. Taph costs 900 player points, and while he doesn't swing swords or spam stuns, his value is in how much chaos he can quietly create. He's the only trap-based survivor in Forsaken, and in the right hands, he can turn the entire map into a minefield for the killer. Players see him as the team's hidden insurance policy, not flashy, but devastating when used correctly. Lore tells us Taph was once a demolitionist, working for Builderman, tearing down the homes of banned Roblox users and salvaging the materials to build new ones. But because he could never confirm whether those bans were justified, he became a target for angry protests. Eventually, he barricaded himself inside his home, rigging it with traps to keep intruders out. In Forsaken, he carries that same paranoia and precision, only now his enemies are killers. His abilities are all about map control. Tripwire slows the killer and pings their location to all survivors. Subspace Trip Mine, an invisible mine that blinds the killer and disables their abilities for several seconds. Taph doesn't speak in-game, he communicates with hand signals and emojis, which has turned into a beloved quirk in the community. Fans love making emoji-only Taph memes and joking about how he's probably judging everyone silently under that hood. Visually, he's all shadow and mystery, hood up, mask on, face hidden. For veteran players, he's the definition of strategic play. You won't see him making big plays every second, but you'll definitely feel his presence when the killer suddenly stumbles into a perfectly timed trap. In Forsaken, Taph proves that sometimes the scariest thing on the map isn't the killer, it's the guy you never hear coming. Elliot, the Pizza Medic. Elliot costs 850 player points, and players joke that you're basically paying for an unlimited pizza delivery service in the middle of a horror scenario. He's a pure support survivor, not the toughest, not the fastest, but the one who keeps everyone else alive long enough to win. In the Forsaken lore, Elliot is Builder Brothers Pizza's best employee ever. Friendly, dedicated, and always ready to help, he treats every teammate like a valued customer. But he's got a complicated history with 007N7. Back when 007N7 used to bring his adopted son Cool Kid into the pizzeria just to cause chaos, Elliot finally banned them both for life. Despite that, he'll still give them a slice of pizza if they ask, proving that even in Forsaken, customer service never dies. His abilities are all about healing and awareness. Order Up, passive, boosts his healing by 5%. Delivers Resolve, reveals the location of recently injured survivors. Pizza Toss, throws a slice that heals whoever picks it up. Rush Hour, once charged, gives him a huge speed boost. Players appreciate him for keeping the team on its feet, especially in clutch moments when a well-timed pizza slice can turn the tide. Of course, with only 80 horsepower, the lowest in the game, Elliot's a high-priority target for killers who know just how important he is. Visually, he radiates warmth and determination even in the grim Forsaken setting. The community calls him the heart of the team, the guy who won't top the damage charts but will absolutely be the reason you made it to the exit. And honestly, in a game full of chaos and betrayal, having someone who'll toss you a slice when you need it most is priceless.